Ethan makes decent money enough that I don't have to work. I guess some people would call me a housewife, though I've never liked that label. I'm not the domestic goddess type. I've always been more into fashion, makeup, staying on top of trends, things that bring color into a routine life. That's how I see it. Anyway, the fight started over dinner, more specifically, the fact that I hadn't made any. I'd spent the whole day lost in TikTok and binge-watching a true crime series. By the time it hit 6, I thought, why not order takeout? We could afford it. But when Ethan walked in and saw the untouched kitchen, his face changed instantly. That look, part disappointment, part frustration, dug under my skin the moment I saw it. He started in with that familiar tone. You've been home all day. The least you could do is make dinner. Then he threw in something about how I don't contribute financially, which felt like a punch to the gut. I mean, I do take care of the house, sort of. I'm not deep cleaning every day, but it is presentable. I look good for him. Stay put together. Isn't that what men want? A woman who turns heads and keeps things looking polished. That's when I snapped. I don't even know where it came from, but the words just flew out of my mouth. Maybe if you made as much as Daniel, I wouldn't have to worry about dinner every night. We could just eat out more. Daniela, my ex. And yes, I really said that. I watched the color drain from Ethan's face. He didn't yell. He just stood there, completely silent, which somehow scared me more than if he'd shouted. After a bit, he turned and left the room. I didn't follow. I figured he'd cool down and we'd talk later. But when I went upstairs a couple of hours later, there was a suitcase on the bed. I tried to stay calm. You're not seriously leaving over this, are you? But he wouldn't even look at me. He just kept folding shirts, muttering something about how he couldn't believe 80 wasted years trying to make our marriage work. Primera panicked. I told him I didn't mean it, that I was frustrated, and blurted something stupid. He wasn't having it. It's not just this, Leia, he said. It's everything. You don't appreciate what I do. You burn through money like it's nothing. You don't take anything seriously. And now you're bringing Daniel into this. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to scream that he was overreacting, but another part of me knew I'd crossed a line. Not that I'd admit it out loud. Yeah, I shouldn't have mentioned Daniel, but Ethan isn't perfect either. He's always so serious, always buried in work. Sometimes it feels like I only exist to him when I've disappointed him. And so, he left, suitcase in hand, got into his car, and drove off. I had no idea where he went. No call, no text. And I was too proud, or maybe too scared to reach out first. I mean, what was I supposed to say? Sorry for comparing you to my ex. Didn't exactly feel like enough. That night, I sat on the couch for hours, running the fight over in my head. I didn't cry, not really the crying type, but I felt sick. Like maybe this time, I'd pushed too far. Still, I didn't call. I figured he'd be back by morning. He's stormed out before, but morning came, and the house stayed quiet. By the afternoon, I was anxious, not because I missed him, exactly, but because I knew what he was probably doing. That's Ethan. He replays things, analyzes every word. If he started putting pieces together, I knew I might be in trouble. I tried calling. Straight to voicemail. Tried again, sent a text. Nothing. So I sent a voice note. I figured maybe hearing my tone would help. Ethan, can we please talk? This got way out of hand. I didn't mean what I said about Daniel. You know, I don't care about him. I only stayed with him because of the money, and even then, I couldn't stand him most of the time. He was arrogant and selfish. It wasn't about you, it just came out wrong. Please come home so we can talk. The moment I hit send, I regretted it. It sounded bad. But I was trying to be honest. I thought maybe if he knew how little Daniel meant to me, he'd understand the comparison wasn't as deep as it seemed. Hours passed. Finally, around 9, Ethan replied. Thanks for confirming what I've suspected for a while. You just use people for what they can give you. I guess I'm no different. That felt like a slap. I mean, what do you say to that? The worst part was that he wasn't entirely wrong. But I didn't marry him thinking I could use him. Primera, loved him, or at least I loved, the life we built. I called. He answered, "No, hello Jess. What do you want, Leia?" What do I want? But I want to fix this, I said. You're acting like I don't care about you at all, and that's not true. It was Kiet, then said, isn't it? You literally admitted you used your ex for money. How do I know you're not doing the same thing to me? Because it's different, I snapped. You're not like him. He treated me like trash. You actually care, do I? He said, calm but sharp. Because right now, it feels like I just pay the bills while you sit around and complain that it is not enough. I couldn't argue. Not really. I tried. I wanted to say that I kept our home nice, that I made myself look good for him, but I knew that wasn't what he wanted to hear. I'm sorry if I made you feel unappreciated, I said. I didn't mean to. But you can't really think I'm only with you for money. He looked at me through the phone. That's exactly how it feels. And if that's true, then maybe I've been wasting my time. I couldn't speak. Because deep down, I wondered if he was right. I never thought of myself as someone who uses people, but when I looked back, the pattern was there. Daniel had money, so I stayed. Ethan had stability, so I built a life with him. But I loved him. Didn't I? Please, don't do this, I whispered. You're blowing it out of proportion. I made a mistake, okay? But that doesn't mean I don't love you. He paused, then said, I need time. Don't call me again until I reach out. Click. The silence after that was deafening. I spent days swinging between anger and guilt, not knowing which emotion I should trust. I told myself I wouldn't reach out again, but on day 3, I cracked. I drove to his office, hoping to find him, to talk. He wasn't there. One of his coworkers said he'd taken a few personal days. That only made it worse. Where was he? Who was he with? Back home, I poured myself a glass of wine and spiraled. I checked his socials. Nothing. Then I remembered his email. Ethan's passwords were predictable. I told myself I was just checking for clues, not snooping. But the moment I logged in, I saw it. An email from a real estate agent. Confirmation of an apartment tour. An apartment, not a home for us, just for him. My hands shook.
I called. Voicemail again.
I left a message. So you're apartment hunting now? That's your solution. Running away. Call me back. Evidente. Eventually, he texted. I'm not making any decisions yet. I just need space. Then, finally, he sent the address of a coffee shop. Said to meet him there if I wanted to talk. He was already there when I arrived. Calm, cold. Like none of this had touched him. I sat down. You're really moving out? He nodded. I've started the divorce paperwork. I've been talking to a lawyer for weeks. Divorce. I stared at him, stunned. You're ending our marriage over one fight? He gave a bitter laugh. This isn't about one fight. This is about years of me trying to make this work while you took and took and took. I was furious. Don't act like I'm the only problem. You were never home, never made time for me. He shook his head. You had chances, Leia. My family warned me. My friends warned me. But I thought, if I loved you enough, you'd change. And then he said it. Yes, there's someone else. Everything went silent. You're cheating on me, I snapped. At least with her, he said. I feel like a person, not just a paycheck. I was frozen. Who is she? Her name's Emily. She listens. She cares. She makes me feel seen. Unlike you. The words crashed over me like a wave. This couldn't be real. He was supposed to stay. I was supposed to decide when it was over. You think she's so perfect? Just wait, I hissed. She'll leave you too. Stood up, you can keep the house. And just like that, it walked Hawaii. I sat there, staring at the empty seat across from me. A storm of anger, shame, and something I couldn't deny anymore. Regret. And maybe. Just maybe. Primera de Cerved Italiano.